Thank you, everybody, and welcome to Center Stage. Today's guest was raised in southern Illinois, just across the river from St. Louis, Missouri, where he began playing tennis at the age of 4. Now, as a freshman at UCLA, he was an All-American and won the NCAA singles title. In just his third year on the pro circuit, he compiled a stunning 99-4 record, winning 15 tournaments, which included 3 Grand Slam titles in a single calendar year. A marvel of longevity, emotion, and self-motivation, he won a record 109 ATP tournaments, 8 Grand Slam single titles, and held the #1 ranking for more than 5 years total. His arsenal featured a vicious two-handed backhand and perhaps the best service return in the game. He had memorable battles with notable rivals such as Arthur Ashe, Bjorn Borg, Yvonne Lendl, and John McEnroe. A natural showman, he made the U.S. Open his home and enjoyed passionate support from its audiences. This fiery competitor's on-court tirades, comments, and antics are legendary. His new book is The Outsider, a memoir. Please welcome the one and only James Scott Connors.
Good morning.
Welcome,
so
Jimmy.
nice to see you.
Nice
It's a pleasure.
I do. So do you remember all that stuff that I just said? You lived it.
I'm going back. You know, it was like I had amnesia, but it's nice to hear again.
In reading the book, it kind of makes you out to be a little bit of a renegade when you turned pro. Were you really that, or was that an act that you were playing?
I think I was. It all started, I think, back when I really first started playing tennis. I was from Illinois and started playing a lot of my tennis on the Missouri side and was kind of going into hostile territory sometimes. I was going to play with guys that already had their friends and already had their coaches, and I was coached by my mom, so I felt a little bit as an outsider. But was I a renegade? I was, and I liked it a lot. I was better on my own.
Did you not fit in? Did you not have friends on the tour?
Oh, I did. Let's see. I did have some friends, but even my friends knew that when I was playing them that ceased, that I had to separate the two, and sometimes that was pretty difficult.
Now, we talked about the book, The Outsider, a memoir. It's really, really well done, and you're really open. You tell everything. Why did you want to write this book?
Well, I've been asked for the last 25 years or so to write a book. I put it off. I'm 60. I finally got together with a writer who I felt really comfortable with. We sat down and able to really put things down the way I thought they should be. Plus, I was able to look at my life back then through a different perspective.
Now, I don't know if you needed this, Jimmy, but a lot of people, when they write books like this, it's almost a catharsis. Did you feel that?
Well, I don't know if I was looking for that.
Right.
Certainly going back and thinking about things, turning them over in my mind again, was some painful, some exciting, all very emotional. But you know, it was a life well lived, and nothing goes right, I don't think, in anybody's life all the time. And to go back, like I said, and to relive that sometimes was hard. But I think a lot that I went through helped mold me to what I became on the court. And I'm not ashamed of that.
Now, you relived a lot of the great matches that you played. Was that a good feeling, or did you feel melancholy?
Well, I'm melancholy because I'm not still out there,
right.
But it was a good feeling. Everybody says that their era is the golden era, but I look back at mine and the guys that I played against and really what they had to offer. Nastasi and Gerolaitis and Borg and Mack, and it's a list as long as my arm, all had their own style of game on the court, but they also had their own style of game off the court too, which even made it more intriguing to the fans who came to watch.
Always wondered this. In my mind, I'm still 15. And you said you're 60, and you don't look 60. Do you still think inside that you're Jimmy Connors 25, that you could still play?
Well, if it wasn't for the scars and so forth, I would be. You know, and a lot of people think that I'm bitter because I can't still play and all that. I'm not, because, you know, I left everything out there. I don't have one what if. But I'd be crazy not to think that I wouldn't want to play at any time. I would love to put my game up against the greats of today, just for the competition. And to feel like, you know, I would go out and just, you know, lay it out there and win or lose.
A couple of years back, we had Andre Agassi on the show after he had written his autobiography. Did you read his book?
Yeah, I did.
And what did you think of it?
Well, you know, everybody puts in their book the way they think it should be in there. And he's different than me. He kind of said that he didn't like tennis. I, on the other hand, loved it, you know, every second of it, from the first ball I ever hit. So our personalities and our attitudes were certainly different. But his game and what he brought to the courts and so forth certainly was something special. And it was necessary because we needed somebody after my era to really take the game and help it go to the next level.
The stark difference in the books to me, Jimmy, is that he almost seemed tortured and anguished. And maybe it comes from the fact that his father forced it on him. And reading your book, your mom just kind of nurtured you. And if you didn't want to play tennis, you kind of backed off. Do you think that that's the difference between you two?
From my standpoint, I wasn't pushed, you know, and it was always available to me, though, because my mother taught tennis, and I was always around it, and I wanted to hang around because that was my way of getting on. Whenever there was a minute break, I was rushing on the court to try to hit any ball necessary. And I think my mom understood that it was very important not only for me to have the fun, but also to be able to do other things.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I always came back to the tennis. And the one thing that was the best was that my mom was always there to hit with me. So can't ask for any more.
Absolutely great. It all started back in East St. Louis. We'll make that trip with Jimmy Connors when we return right here on Center Stage.